Hey guys, bored to death, and welcome back to the infectious madness of Dr. Dekker. Alright, let's dive right in.
Midnight.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna skip that. We're gonna skip that one too. Okay. So, I'm gonna keep it to 3 interviews today, but before we start, I actually want to do a little bit of thinking here. As in, we need to start thinking about who is the murderer. Judging by looking at the statistics for the game, it looks like we're about 68% complete, and we're on Act 4, so I'm guessing there might be a 5th act. Again, I don't look at any of this stuff ahead of time. I am actually just going through this in the dark. So, right off the bat, Mariana and Elin are both out, because Mariana saw Elin at the pier. Alright, and Elin was on a date until 11 p.m., so they both have alibis for the night of the murder. And neither of them have time-traveling problems, so, you know, they don't go have an extra hour, relive the day. So, 2 out of the 6, and I'm only considering the original 6. It's going to be Nathan, Mariana, Elin, Bryce, Claire, and Jaya. Yes, she is a suspect. Those 6, I think, are... So now we're down 2, so now we're down to 4. Nathan, I think, had... he was doing something with speed dating the night of the murder, right? He also seems more obsessed with his own problems than Dr. Dekker. So I'm thinking Nathan is most likely not going to be the murderer. You know, he seems to have moved on, and he also said something about Dr. Dekker hypnotizing him and then seeming to forget him. He doesn't like Dr. Dekker and blames him for the current problems he's having, but I don't think that's enough to qualify him as the murderer. At least not on this playthrough, because remember, it is randomly generated, so on another playthrough, maybe Nathan was the murderer. So, it's probably on the low end of suspected. I can't quite cross him off the list, but I don't really want to put him up on the upper top. Then we have Claire. Claire, definitely violent, definitely into stabbing. But she tends to lose control and get angry, so it doesn't really seem to me like that's her MO. Because when she killed her husband, she just grabbed a steak knife and just started stabbing him and went crazy. Also, she seems to be really obsessed with her husband, but as we remember from the last episode, Dr. Dekker had both alcohol and temazepam in his system. Okay? So whoever killed Dr. Dekker drugged him so he was unable to fight back, and then stabbed him with an object that's happened to be at hand. That brings us to my 2 suspects. Now, on the lower end, I think Bryce is really good for this. I think Bryce, he definitely hated Dr. Dekker. He hated him with a passion. And he does exhibit some violent tendencies, although he seems to be more of the creep type guy. My number 1 pick, unfortunately, is going to have to be Jaya. Mostly because of what transpired in the last episode, where Jaya drugs and ties up the main character, the protagonist, I guess the therapist that I'm playing, which is exactly how Dr. Dekker was killed. Additionally, she's got motive in that she does believe that Dr. Dekker was corrupting people and making them have these, what did she put it, kinetic, psychic? They're psychic powers, basically. So she's got motive to kill Dekker, and she used the exact same means to incapacitate my character that she did Dekker. So I'm thinking that more than likely Jaya is going to be the murderer. Now, we still have the rest of this act to get some more clues, and possibly the next act if it does exist, which I believe it's going to, just based on completion. So let's see. We talked to Scarlet. We talked to Mariana. I think today we're going to do Nathan, Elin, and Claire. And then maybe next episode we'll do Bryce and Jaya. Alright, so let's start with Nathan. Yeah, and the other reason I want to keep it a little bit short is this is Halloween weekend for us, and I am actually going to be throwing a party, so I do have like a lot of prep work and cleaning to do, because I'm throwing my Halloween party on the weekend after, because Halloween was on a Wednesday this week, or this year. Alright, Nathan, what do you got? How are you today, Nathan?
I'm feeling good. I ran into one of your other patients, Mariana. She's beautiful. I think we might go on a date.
Why did you have to think when you said her name? Because you were clearly all up about getting into the, a date with Mariana before. I still need to ask you about Dekker or have a look at the toxicology report. Let's do the toxicology report.
Temazepam is the same sleeping pill Dr. Dekker prescribed me.
And half the county.
Why would he mix those with alcohol? People are such idiots. Which reminds me, that truck driver died.
Truck driver? Which truck driver died?
The truck driver that ran into Hannah. He was divorced, apparently. He killed himself. He mixed sleeping pills with alcohol, too.
Huh?
He died in his garage.
Interesting that you would bring that up, Nathan, since I was considering that you weren't the murderer. How did he die in his garage? I'm thinking asphyxiation through the car's exhaust.
I read it in the paper. He'd been drinking. Then he took the sleeping pills. Then he went into his garage and put the hose pipe through his window.
Saw it coming.
Not until he put his daughter in the seat first.
What? Well, that's just awful. Did the truck driver's daughter die as well?
It's one of those newspaper stories you read, and you hope it says he leaves behind his wife and 7-year-old daughter. But his daughter was in the car. Do you know, I wrote him a letter.
All right, before we ask him that, I actually want to tell him, how do you feel about this? All right, so the question is, how do you feel about the truck driver's death? Because that does actually seem to be a fairly decent question to ask at this juncture.
The truck driver that ran into Hannah.
Oh, you have no feelings about it. All right, well, tell me about your letter.
Dr. Dekker told me one of the ways to get through my grief would be to write a letter to the truck driver. I tried to forgive him. I know it was my fault, but the thing that made me feel best was blaming him. I think maybe he killed himself because of me. Do you think I'm to blame, Doctor?
Let's get back to that question. What do you know about Dekker's drinking habits?
Alcohol isn't something I usually notice on people until they're slurring and weaving around. Was Dr. Dekker an alcoholic? Probably. I never saw him drink, though.
See here, buddy. Just because you don't see the drink doesn't mean I didn't do it. I still need to ask you about Dekker. I may have had one too many.
What are you trying to do most? Cure his patients or find out who killed him?
I can't do both. I want to cure his patients.
It's been nice chatting with you. Don't get me wrong. But I can't help but feel you're mainly interested in finding out about the old doctor. I suppose you already know Dr. Dekker thought one of his patients was trying to kill him.
I might have. Alright, let's just go with no, you're not to blame. Because even though he might be writing letters, he didn't force him to kill himself. At least not with a guy who, goes back and forth in time. Not unless he actually admits that he did. So let's do that.
His daughter's picture was in the paper. Molly.
Tell me about Molly.
Ever since I saw a picture in the paper, I've started thinking I could see her. Out of the corner of my eye.
No.
Like she's watching me.
Oh, hello,
Crazy,
Molly. How are you, little girl? Why was Dr. Dekker think a patient was trying to kill him?
He told me in one of our sessions, which was later rewound, that someone had been leaving him messages on his prescription pad. Not good messages.
What sort of messages were on the prescription pad?
He didn't tell me anything specifically. Just death threats. It was one of his many rants. I just sat there quietly, hoping he wasn't going to try and hypnotize me again. I asked him if it was a boy or a girl's handwriting. He said he knew who it was, and that they'd be in trouble. I think he was bluffing.
I can stop you reliving days. Let's talk about Mariana first.
I can't really explain it, but she seems like such a friendly person. I think the police are barking up the wrong tree.
Okay. What did the police have to do with Mariana? You know what, let's do this. I can stop you reliving your days, because I want to make sure that we get that in there. Mostly because I'm afraid of what Jaya will do to me if I don't.
Please do. I wish I could believe you.
You just have to believe me, Nathan.
I think I've probably said too much. It's probably not the same girl anyway.
Marianne is not the same girl as who? Wait. I just asked about Mariana. What do you know about Mariana? What other girl? Or, you know what? Let's just go with same girl, because, you know, they work on keywords. Same girl.
Read the papers, Doctor. I don't, but people at work talk about it. Missing people, dead bodies. The police are looking for a redhead, apparently.
Ooh. Yeah, it totally couldn't be her. Tell me about your referral, Nathan.
My solicitors assured me that I wouldn't have to discuss anything about my trial with you. So
Wait,
I'm not
what?
going to. Concentrate on my state of mind, and let me worry about other things.
Well, there goes all my theories. What trial? Wait, huh? What trial? What trial?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a broken record. I'm definitely a broken something.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Okay, so we just learned a bunch about Nathan that we didn't know before. Maybe I can't write him off completely yet. Alright. I don't have anything else pre-rendered here, so let's move on to the next person. Hello, Elin. How are you today? How are you today, Elin?
Hilda died last night. I was there. Well, I was there as her daughter. It was nice. She had a good death. She got to say what she wanted to say.
Okay, but we're gonna have to get you to stop doing that. What's a good death?
Hilda was Hilda to the end. I was the doting daughter. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. I love you, Mum. Then Hilda, with almost her last breath, looks me straight in the eye and says, "Don't let them take Amelia."
Who's Amelia? Well, I was gonna ask that. I don't need that prompted to me. Oh, are we not gonna actually let that be a pre? All right, who's Amelia? Who is Amelia?
Amelia's Hilda's doll. She used to have about 9 or 10 of them, all glassy-eyed and creepy looking, with frilly dresses and curls. All over her room they were. In the end, we had to get rid of them. They weren't very hygienic. But we let her keep one, and that was Amelia.
Is Amelia gonna come to life and come for us? Yeah, I want to follow up on this Amelia thing. Is there more to the Amelia? Yeah, who is Amelia? Where is Amelia? Where did Amelia go?
Amelia's Hilda's doll.
Oh, come on. All right. Do you have access to sleeping pills?
Most people have taken sleeping pills at some time or another, haven't they? It's probably quite easy to get hold of them. Although, I have to get a doctor to sign a prescription if I need any at work. It's probably the same for Jaya.
Why did she bring that up? That a doctor needs to sign a prescription for your sleeping pills? Tell me about Jaya!
Jaya seems really nice. I don't know why she'd want to work in a place like this.
What's wrong with my office? What do you mean, like a place by this? What's wrong with you? Look at that couch. That's an expensive couch. How are you hating on my practice here?
I just mean, get all these weird people coming here.
Really?
I mean, I've met some of them out in the waiting room. I know they're just people, but a couple of them have seriously given me the creeps.
I hate to mention this, but the waiting room was completely empty when you came in today. It was just a couple of mirrors. What patient gives you the creeps? Claire?
She's a slightly older one, isn't she? Always well dressed? Yes, her. I'm pretty good at picking up on people's energy, and hers is cold. Actually, I think I sort of know her. Claire Castleford, isn't it? Apparently, she attacked her husband or something.
I'm not at liberty to discuss patient-client stuff. Let's move on to, did Dekker ever drink alcohol?
Dr. Dekker drank a bit. I didn't say anything about it, but, well, it's not very professional, is it? I mean, it's not like he was drunk. It must be very stressful being a therapist. Do you find it stressful, Doctor?
Well, it wasn't until somebody came after me with the pliers. No, it's not stressful.
Maybe you're just tired then. You should get some rest.
Take a rest. Okay. Do you still think about Dekker?
I think of Dr. Dekker every time one of my patients dies. It makes me remember how he didn't care about his mum. He was a good therapist. He was a lousy son.
Okay. Oh, all right. What do we got? Elin says some of the other patients give her the creeps. Maybe we should ask her about each one. Do we have more? Why was Dr. Dekker a lousy son? Let's just go with that.
I was angry at Dr. Dekker. Hilda's daughter, she's in Australia, so fair enough. Maybe she really couldn't get over to see her. But Dr. Dekker's mum was dying literally on the other side of town, and he just couldn't be bothered. I shifted for her. But in a way, I wish I hadn't. Because it let Dr. Dekker off the hook, you know? I didn't realise how little he cared until I told him the news.
I can stop you shifting.
You've never seen me angry, have you, Doctor? Don't say things like that when you don't mean them.
I totally mean it.
Upset.
I don't really care if you get angry. I mean, there's a girl over there with pliers. Bring it on. What happened to Hilda's doll? I asked that.
I'm keeping her safe until I can pass her on to Hilda's daughter. Maybe she'll fly over for the funeral. I don't know. Are you okay, Doctor? You look a bit pale.
It's funny, I actually feel just fine, but alright. Did you ever try shifting for Dekker? Did Dekker know you could shift? Did Dekker ever know you could shift?
Yes, I told Dr. Dekker. Most other people wouldn't have believed me, but he did. In fact, he cared far more about the shifting than he did about his mum dying.
Okay, so she is one of the people who came with a pre-existing condition. Why do you think Dr. Dekker didn't care about his mom?
For a moment, I thought he might cry. Just for a split second. But he didn't. He just carried on with our session. I wish I knew what went on there. Jaya probably knows. She spent quite a long time with Sarah when she visited.
Everybody seems to be pointing me back to Jaya. How's Terry?
Terry hasn't been into work for a few days. I hope there's nothing wrong with her.
You know, it's funny. Every time somebody gets around you, they seem to get sick. Including this character who's now suddenly pale. Are you just pretending to care about Terry?
Terry and I are never going to be best friends, but I wouldn't wish her ill.
Maybe not consciously. Did you ever try shifting for Dr. Dekker?
Yes, once. I wanted to show him what I could do so he could see for himself. I took his hand, I told him to think of a loved one, and then there was nothing. I mean, literally nothing, just an empty void. The only thing I could feel was his hand holding mine. I'm pretty sure without that I'd have... I'm not sure I could have made it back.
Wait, made it back? Made it back from where? Made it back from where?
I don't really know anything about that.
Sometimes it is frustrating when they give you a lead and a question and you want to continue that line and they shut you down. Did you have a referral letter to see Dr. Dekker? Let's go with that. A referral letter. Letter. I can speak good today.
I referred myself because of Dr. Dekker's mother. Was I supposed to have a letter?
Yes, from Cthulhu, your general practitioner. Alright, Elin. Alright, Nathan, Elin. Alright, so it did say ask her about the others. What about Nathan?
don't know who Nathan is.
Okay. What about Mariana? All right, we're getting somewhere. She's actually responding. She knows what I'm talking about. What about Mariana?
I don't think I know her.
Oh, that's right. Mariana saw her. Okay. We already know about Claire. What about Bryce? Because I think if everybody's going to give off a creep vibe, it's going to be Bryce. So what about Bryce?
Bryce? I'm not sure who that is.
He's the creepy guy. All right, who else do we have? Claire, Bryce. What about Jaya? What about Scarlet? Okay, let's try that. What about Jaya?
Seems really nice.
Yeah, I didn't think you would get it. Okay. What about Scarlet? Let's try that. What about Scarlet?
Sorry. No.
Alright, we got one more here. What about Glynn? I mean, I hate to say it, Glynn is fairly forgettable, and I think he's the one who walks through doors, so maybe nobody ever saw him before, but what about Glynn?
I don't have anything else to say about that.
Well, thank you for your time, and I hope you can accept this consolation prize of a used wine cork. That's about all that line of questioning is going to get me. Alright, thanks for playing, and let's move on to the next contestant. Claire Castleford, come on down! Let's talk about murder. How are you today, Claire Castleford?
There's no lake house today, sorry. David's not doing very well. He's caused a problem with the girl. I need to do something.
Yeah, how very convenient that you want me to see your revived undead husband and then suddenly we can't. Have you ever... why is there no lake house today? Let's start with that.
David hasn't been well. Otherwise I'd taken you. Shall I bring him to you next time?
I'm not sure, because I think I want to dissuade you from thinking that David is real. No, don't bring David to me, because you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't want to see your zombie ex-husband.
You still don't believe me, do you, Doctor? Then it's settled. I'll bring David to our next session.
I just said don't.
So it will have to be just you here, and late at night. I can't have anybody else see him.
Also, again, very convenient. What's the problem with the girl?
The little girl, our neighbor at the lake house, she says David is weird and creepy.
Doctor! Oh, sorry.
What?
But I found some of the referral letters we were talking about. There is a pattern, but it's not the same for everyone. He said to get them to you ASAP, so here you go.
How referral letters 1, 2, and 3. Alright, if you're gonna bump in the middle of my session, I guess I'm gonna have to read them. Let's do them in order. 1. Hackett and Browne, 3234 Leftwich Court, London, whatever that is. Dear Dr. Dekker, I refer a client to your clinic for evaluation, Claire Castleford. Hey, that seems convenient. She's being charged with the murder of her husband, and we require your diagnosis as to whether or not she was of sound mind and has the mens rea required for the crime. So yours sincerely, Messrs. Hackett Browne, solicitors, Hackett and Browne. Alright, you know, I would, just out of the general kindness of my heart, still say that, yeah, Claire's crazy. Alright, what else we got? We got referral letter number 2. Chart, Token, and Baugh. Rawlings House, Exeter. Dear Dr. Dekker, we believe that our client, who has only given us her first name, Mariana, is mentally unstable and would like your expert opinion on this matter. We are happy to cover all of your costs and look forward to receiving your report forthwith. G-Chart, Chart Token and Baugh, Solicitors, LLP. Okay. Alright. what about number 3? Wait, no, that was the wrong thing. Elin says some of the other patients... Alright, there's something strange about these solicitors' names. Hackett Browne, chart token in law, Kat Roenbeck. Alright, let's look at the last one then. Was... Nope. 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 No. Oh, yeah. Buttons. Yeah, I'm doing real well today. Okay, here we go. Referral level 3. Kat Roenbeck. Heatherly Place Solicitors. For the attention of Dr. Dekker, I'm referring yet another client to you today for further psychiatric evaluation. It is my hope that you concur with my suspicions and are able to find him insane under the guidelines set out with the McNaughton rules. Kat Roenbeck, LLB Hans. Hans? Honorable? I don't know. Alright. So, I can't just look at all the... Alright, so let's look at it as a clue. Hackett Browne, chart token, law Kat Roenbeck. HBCTLKR, those are all the first letters. Hackett Browne. Hackett Browne referred who? Chart token referred who? Law Kat and Roenbeck. Real quick. Hackett and Browne is for Claire Castleford. So, Hackett, obviously, for hacking someone up and murder. And Browne, alright. Am I supposed to see a pattern here? Maybe it'll emerge later. Chart, token, and Baugh for Mariana. Chart, token, and Baugh. Okay. You're confusing me, game, with your clues, Kat Roenbeck. I hope this isn't one of those things where I'm supposed to, like, rearrange the names of the letters and stuff like that. So, Kat Roenbeck, further psychiatric should find him insane. Alright, so this is either for Bryce or Nathan. Because it's one of the few male patients. Huh. Okay, well, let's continue talking to Claire, because I'm not quite sure. What has David been doing?
David has been hunting and skinning again. But from the look of the torso, he caught a domestic cat. I'm being generous. It was definitely a cat.
Well, I think it's
I spoke
time.
to David about it, but I have no idea if he can comprehend me or not. He just grunts at me. He doesn't even smile anymore. Not at all.
Well, either you're going to have to put David down, or I'm under the suspicion that you're dressing up David, as David, and giving us some real psycho moments. Oh, where'd the cat come from?
Yes, sorry. I left out an important detail. The
Yes,
girl,
you did.
Anushka.
What?
She was crying because her cat had gone missing, and she thinks that David killed it. Doctor,
Well?
I'm worried.
You should kill David again. What are you worried about? I mean, you've done it once. It's not going to be. It's going to be just as easy the second time. Actually, easier because he's not your husband anymore. He's a zombie.
I'm worried that David's not going to stop at cats.
Uh-huh.
He's killed deer, rabbits, wild birds, and now cats. I'm worried he might add little girls to his list.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
I can't stop him.
Yes, you can. Anushka. Please don't make me spell that game. Do you remember Anushka? You're gonna make me spell Anushka? A-N-O-U-S-H-K-A. A-N-O-U-S-H-K-A. Let's do it. A-N-O-U-S-H-K-A. Question mark.
I spoke to her again. She wouldn't tell me her name, which is quite right. I am a stranger after all.
Uh-huh.
So I gave her the name Anushka.
Oh.
She said the man that lives in the lake house is weird and creepy.
So now you're just making up names for people. Alright, alright. Do you remember the photo?
Oh yes, here. From a few weeks ago. As you can see, Doctor, he looks perfectly normal.
Is it before or after you stabbed them the first time? Uh-huh. This is, again, before or after you stabbed him a bunch of times. Why can't you stop him?
I can't stop him. I can't control him in any way at all. Ever since I brought him back from the dead, he has done nothing but ignore me. I'm starting to think that...
You could finish your sentence. What are you starting to think?
that I need to put David out of his misery.
Thank you.
That I need to end his suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That I need to kill him. Again.
Mm-hmm.
What shall I do, Doctor? Should I kill David?
Yes. Kill David.
I love him so much. But you're right. It's time. He's becoming a danger to people around him, not just himself.
Okay. Have you talked to Bryce or Iris? I forget who Iris was. There's a lot of the side characters who come in.
I never talked to Bryce, but I did talk to Iris. I told her who saved her and that it was a patient here. She broke down on the phone. Most unbecoming. I wonder what kind of gift basket he'll get.
Okay, Iris, was she the one that was actually stuck inside Dekker's basement? I think that might have been it. She was chained up in Dekker's basement and Bryce rescued her. Was Dekker an alcoholic?
If Dr. Dekker was an alcoholic, he hid it well. I never saw him drink. He certainly never offered me a drink. God knows I could have used one.
Listen here, woman. You just keep your hands off my booze. This is my personal stash. I'll share it with the patients the likes of you. Why? Have you ever taken this temazepam? It's good stuff.
I've never used sleeping pills. I'm too afraid of what would happen to me in my sleep.
Okay. Alright, so I think that concludes today's sessions. Next time we'll have Bryce and Jaya, unless something else comes up. So many questions, so many clues, so much left unresolved. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.